Hello everyone, this is part 1 of What If Naruto Was a Hitman. This story is made by eroslackermicha, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Target sighted. The whisker-marked blonde made an adjustment to the scope and looked through from his position in a tree. The crosshairs landed on a pudgy midget of a man in a suit wearing shaded glasses. Confirm. Target Gato in my sights. Smoke. M. The voice came over his headset. The sniper rifle didn't even twitch due to the runes carved into it, and the nearly silent PFFFT was the only sound. Down in the middle of the village, Gato's head disintegrated, his bodyguards in shock, but they soon joined their boss's headless corpses. The villagers of Wave looked in shock as the tyrant that had ruled their island for nearly 15 years was Inari, the grandson of the bridge builder Tazuna, who SD 10 years ago for hiring Ninja to try and protect him while he tried to finish it, stepped forward. He looked at the body of Gato, there was a gust of wind, and he watched as a card drifted on the wind and landed on Gato's body. Inari picked it up. On one side was a stylish 9 and on the other contract completed. Payment due. Inari smiled as he raised his hand, and the gathered villagers who had thought Gato was going to wring more from him, cheered as they were finally free. XX. Well, that was easy. 9 sighed as he walked, the fox on his shoulder balanced perfectly. You know we're going to be late. The fox spoke. 9 grunted as he shouldered his sniper rifle, after wrapping it in all-purpose weather tape. Why did you take this contract kit? The fox asked. To prove that tyrants can be taken out. 9 responded in a flat tone. Or is it to show that you can do something that those fools in Konoha couldn't do? The fox asked. Leave it alone, Q. 9 said, his blue eyes focusing on the path ahead. You're still hating. The fox said. And why shouldn't I? 9 asked finally. They locked me up for 10 years, turned their backs on me, on us. Then when they finally let me out, the villagers try and kill me, I defend myself and am threatened with death. The fox sighed and remembered it like it was yesterday. Flashback. Naruto Uzumaki, you are charged with the theft of the Forbidden Scroll, breaking and entering, assault, M of Chunin instructor Iruka Yumino. Naruto stood there in shock as the charges continued. Some were obviously made up and some were from things he'd done, and been punished for. He looked up to where the third Hokage sat watching the trial, and the old man's face was turned away. Naruto could see tears. Help me, Oji-san. I didn't kill Iruka-sensei. It was Mizuki. Naruto thought. He was unable to speak as some guards had put suppression seals on him before dragging him into the courtroom. Silencing jutsus were used on him as well as the chakra suppressor cuffs on his wrists. I did what I was told. I took the scroll and learned the Kage Bunshin. Why did this happen? Naruto thought. Mizuki-sensei and Iruka-sensei showed up. Mizuki claimed I stole the scroll, but I told Iruka-sensei that Mizuki told me I could make genin if I took the scroll and learned something from it. 3 hours since he stole the scroll, he'd sat out near the abandoned shack and learned the Kage Bunshin. He'd just made and dispelled one when Iruka showed up. And then Mizuki showed up and demanded I give him the scroll, and Iruka-sensei told me not to. And then Mizuki attacked me. Iruka took the windmill shuriken to the back. Naruto had run then, and Iruka and Mizuki fought. Mizuki yelled out to Naruto the secret that the village had kept the past 11 years. The reason why everyone hated him. The reason they abused him. You're the Kyuubi. Mizuki had told him. And then Iruka had said that it was true. But he didn't see Naruto as the 9-tailed demon fox. He saw him as Naruto, a hero. Mizuki then espered Iruka with a kunai. Later it would be revealed to be one of the kunai Naruto had thrown to get away. Naruto in anger summoned 1,000 Kage Bunshins and they pummeled Mizuki into unconsciousness. Mizuki however had a partner, and Naruto never saw the person who struck him from behind. Naruto woke up in a cell and was told that he was charged with M and theft. They'd found him with the scroll and Iruka's body with his kunai in the Chunin's tea. Mizuki was gone, and the Anbu figured Naruto was his accomplice. And now I'm on trial, that's funny. No one is defending me, and I can't speak for myself. The sentencing was 10 years in prison for the death of Iruka. The scroll which had been found on him was returned to the vault in the Hokage's office. End flashback. Nine's leaps past several trees and he would leap just after touching down. The fox didn't even feel it, as he continued to remember for the blonde whose shoulder he rested on. Flashback. 10 years had passed. Naruto had trained his body, while in the cell. During that time he'd sunk into his mind and met with the Kyuubi. The fox had been huge behind the seal and the rage and intent flooded out. The two exchanged insults and Naruto woke. The next time Naruto met with the fox, they once again exchanged insults and the Kyuubi forced him out. And so it went for 3 months into his sentence, when the fox finally broke and started to talk to Naruto. Not about how he came to be sealed, but about Naruto's life. They talked about everything else over the months, and Naruto was finding the fox had an odd sense of humor. It was nearing his 9th month in prison that the Hokage who visited once a week never showed up. Naruto yelled for the guard and asked where the old man was. He was given a beating for his question. Another week passed and still no Hokage. In his mind he ranted at the fox, who seemed as surprised as Naruto that the old man hadn't come. I might not like many humans, but the old monkey did best by you as he could. A year passed since the Hokage stopped visiting and it was during his talks with the Kyuubi that the fox started to show him how to train in his mind on chakra control. But it's sealed off. The braces, stupid kid. In your mind you can still learn. When those things come off, we'll surprise them all. Kyuubi not only taught him chakra control and manipulation, but he taught him about the ages past. I heard a village to the far north rediscovered gunpowder and is making firearms. Kyuubi said, how about when we get out of here I show you how to really make them? What? Why? Naruto asked as he worked out. You are my container. The longer you live and the more power you have the more prestige I get. Kyuubi admitted, you'll never be allowed to be a ninja of this village, that's for sure. During their mental training, Naruto learned what the teachers had sabotaged in his training. The Kyuubi was mad, and they call themselves teachers. He was heard muttering. So he had Naruto create a shadow clone and used a tail to control it. Naruto learned a whole new style of taijutsu, as well as how to use fox fire, the chameleon ability to blend in and kitsune illusion magic. I am a creature of the elements kit. And what I have you shall have. And that added another lesson in his mind space as Kyuubi showed him how to mold the elements. Fire, water, earth, wind, metal, lightning, ice, life and shadow. One element per tail. In the real world Naruto worked out, his body lean, a dancer's build, but sped. The new taijutsu was fluid and graceful. Time passed and the only human contact was guards bringing food. Naruto had no visitors after he told Ayami and old man Ichiraku not to come back when they told him about the death of the third Hokage. I'm sorry we couldn't visit before, but the lower levels of the prison you need permission and it took, the old man said. The new Hokage is making things. Leave. Don't come back, Naruto said coldly. It had hurt, but he knew it would hurt more when they stopped visiting later on. Like when Oji-san. Kyuubi comforted the boy with a tail hug when he sobbed in the mental space after hearing about the death of the Hokage. Naruto said. What kit? The fox asked from its side of the bars. When we get out of here, show me how to become better. Naruto said. As you wish, the fox said. End flashback. Why aren't we using the contraption the girl made? Q asked from his seat on Nine's shoulder. Because you hate teleporting and say's device makes you antsy. Faye. It's unnatural scattering one's chakra and atoms and rearranging them at a different location. Nine chuckled. I like it. You would. You're an adrenaline junkie and think skydiving is fun. It is. If we were meant to be in the air like that, Kami would have given us wings. The fox argued back. Nine smirked. Wait till I tell Yugi-chan and Ni-chan the great and all-power Kyuubi no Kitsune is afraid of heights. Do that and I'll S off your ear. The fox growled. Nine chuckled a bit as he continued to speed along. Q remembered for him the day he was released. Flashback. The cell door opened with a loud creaking groan. Lantern light flooded the room and Naruto winced as he turned his head away. Come on demon, your sentence is up. The guard said. Really? Naruto's voice was whispery and rough. And here I thought I was to remain forever. Naruto stretched like a fox and his spine cracked as he worked the kinks out. He shuffled along, his blue eyes avoiding the lantern as he allowed the pale light to lead the way. They reached the foyer where the desk and doors were. Naruto wasn't surprised there was no one waiting for him. The guards removed the leg shackles. Naruto Uzumaki, you have served your full sentence of 10 years, it is time for your release. The warden said. Naruto said nothing. He held out his arms to get the suppressors removed. You'll need to see the Hokage about those. The warden said. Naruto grunted and waited. Wolf, ox, boar, take the prisoner to see the Hokage so he can be given his final release papers and housing assignment. The warden said. No words of luck or anything else, the Anbu led Naruto to the tower. Once his eyes adjusted to the bright light of the sun, he noticed Konoha had changed greatly in 10 years. Buildings were changed. Naruto didn't look at the faces, he didn't see the questioning looks as he man with blonde hair to his ankles and whisker-marked cheeks and a beard passed them all. The Anbu kept anyone curious or meaning harm away as they reached the Hokage Tower. Naruto looked at the monument. The 4 faces were there and a 5th one was added. It was the new Hokage who took control after the death of the Sandaime. Get a move on, demon. Ox said, shoving him. Naruto growled and the man backed off. Don't you think, Naruto began, his harsh voice carrying, that if I was a demon, I would have ked you all for the treatment you've all given me since I was a baby. Naruto entered the tower and walked the path he hadn't taken in over a decade. They soon reached the secretary's desk. Uzumaki to see the Hokage. Wolf said to the woman that Naruto did recognize. The pink hair and green eyes. Hello Sakura, he said. She looked at him coldly, but didn't respond to him. Take a seat, the Hokage will be with you gentlemen shortly. She told the Anbu. They shoved Naruto into a chair and took up positions. Sakura at the desk went back to work, ignoring Naruto. You're looking good Sakura, he said after several minutes of quiet. Don't speak to me, Mayor. She said. I was framed, Naruto said. Sakura said nothing when there was a buzz from the intercom on her desk. You can take it in now, she said. The 3 Anbu ushered Naruto into the Hokage's office, a room that used to warm and welcoming, now felt cold and alien. Uzumaki, Danzo, finally made it to the big chair. Naruto greeted the man who was the Godime Hokage. And all it took was for the old man to be med while you hid in your home during the invasion, I bet. Danzo smirked and looked at the Anbu. Leave us. They looked ready to protest, but he waved them out. Once the doors were closed he smirked. Truthfully, Orochimaru did me a favor in more ways than one. Sit. He gestured to the chair. Naruto shrugged and did so. You see, my root discovered that you were framed, we knew that before you went to trial, but we knew that if you were free you would have been a wild card. Naruto remained silent. So you had to go to jail. I never thought Orochimaru would kill the old fool. But in the end it turned out well. You were out of the way, Sarutobi-s, and I could mold Konoha into the greatest empire ever. Naruto still said nothing, but held up the suppressor cuffs. Ah, yes, those. I think we can remove them now. He slid the key over and Naruto removed one then the other. The resulting explosion of chakra had Anbu rushing the office. Sakura could be heard screaming that the demon had killed the Hokage. Danzo had been thrown back against the wall, his eyes wide. Such power. Sarutobi, we were all fools. Naruto sat motionless through it all. His head was tilted back, his eyes closed as his merged chakra rolled through him, around him, embraced him. I am whole. We are whole, he thought. The 21-year-old felt complete. Anbu stood in shock. Stay back, Danzo ordered. It's all right. Uzumaki's chakra was surging after being sealed away for so long. What power, if we could harness it, he thought. When it settled, Naruto opened his eyes. What? Leave us, Danzo ordered. And someone calm down Haruno. He said about his secretary that could still be heard screaming about the Demon King the Hokage. Once the office was emptied again, Danzo retook his seat, his hands shaking. Now then, we can get you assigned to a team so that you can take up your duties as a ninja of Konohagakure, and Naruto's laughter filled the office. You need to remember, Lord Hokage, I was never a ninja. I failed the academy 3 times and then was thrown in jail for the M of Iruka-sensei, and Mizuki vanished right after I kicked his ass for King, my mentor. Danzo was speechless. Naruto stood. Now, we're done. I'm out of here. Your apartment was destroyed. No, I am out of Konoha. There's nothing here for me. You and the rest of the villagers made that obvious over the years. What about old man Ichiraku and his daughter left? I got a letter a year after they left. Civilians burned down their ramen stand after they visited me one time. They told me the old man SD. Something no one else cared to tell me about. They told me of the invasion by Oto and Suna. Naruto said. He looked over his shoulder. I'm done with this village. Do what you want, I no longer care. I'll mark you as a missing nin. Danzo threatened. Again, I was never a ninja, but of course, I was never the QB either, and you've treated me like S because you couldn't tell the difference between a boy and a being of chakra sealed away. Naruto walked away. Danzo knew he'd made a mistake leaving the boy in jail the whole time, but they needed his power now. Stop. And Anbu, eager to please the boss, reached out to grab Naruto. But the blonde sidestepped and grabbed the man's wrist and with a simple flick sent him to the ground hard, cracking the floor with the impact. Never touch me again, bastard. Naruto said as he continued to walk, his gaze passing over Sakura and the guards still there. He reached the stairs and looked back to see Danzo in the doorway of his office. Anyone you send at me will be ked. I am not a ninja and I've never been treated as a civilian, so I am solving all the problems and leaving Konoha. I hope the village burns around you, Hokage-sama. He was on the streets when the first tomato flew at him. His chakra swirled around him and obliterated the flying object, shocking the people around him. Do that again and I will K the person who threw it. Naruto walked to his gates in silence, civilians watching, too scared to attack. Ninja watched from the roofs. And Danzo watched from the balcony of the Hokage's office, realizing that his plans had backfired. End flashback. Okay, Kit. Call her. We'll be days running before we get there otherwise. The fox said. Are you sure? I don't want to. Do it. We have no reason to dally around here anymore. The fox said. Nine smirked as he tapped a button on his watch. 12 tails, operator. A female's voice came from the small speaker. Hey Shizune. Naruto. Where are you? Lady Tsunade is not happy that you've vanished. Came the scolding voice. Hey. Tell Bar-chan that the issue in Wave is settled and they'll be sending the payment in. You were supposed to take back up. Hey. 1 and 2 are dealing with that mess in. Don't give me that, Naruto. Shizune's voice cut him off. It's 9 now. Naruto SD in a Konoha prison. The blonde said. Get off it. You and Naruto. Lady Tsunade will beat it into your head if you don't stop thinking of yourself as that number you and the other two gave yourselves. We are SS Shizune. Our villagers stopped seeing us as people the day the biju was sealed in us. None of us got warm affection. I can't talk to you like this. Shizune said. Where are you? On my way from Wave, I took the long way around to avoid fire country. Stand still. I'll have Sei transport you. Naruto stopped and smirked at the fox. Body slide. He said. Naruto was surrounded by twinkling lights and soon enveloped by blue-white light, and then was gone. The brick building was 4 stories. The neon sign above the main doors showed a 3-headed monster sporting the head of a raccoon, a fox and a cat. Fanned out behind the creature was 12 tails. 2 cat, 1 raccoon, and 9 fox. Inside was a combination office, bar and game room. At the desk sat Shizune, the apprentice to Tsunade Senju, former Sannin of Konoha and the woman who ran the agency's day-to-day operations. There was a battered but comfortable sofa off to the side with a television and coffee table. A woman with a large bust and blonde hair in pigtails was asleep while snuggling up to a pig called Tonton. This was Tsunade, the famed slug Sannin and the legendary sucker and owner of 12 Tails Agency. On the other side of the room playing pool was a young woman wearing skin-tight purple and black bodysuit, a gold belt where a handle for a chakra whip hung, and had a pair of cat ears. Her gloves sported sharp nails, which currently held a pool stick. Her opponent was dressed in dark red pants, a deep brown vest over a tightened shirt. He had an lace of fangs, and his raccoon-marked eyes were lined up along the pool stick in his hand. Across his back was a huge gourd and on his forehead was a sigil for love. Where the hell is he? Shizune was heard muttering. Sei said she brought him back before the 2 of you, yet you're here and he's not. Yugito Ni sighed. You know how he is, Nei-chan. She said. The 3 biju had adopted Shizune as a sister figure along with Gaara's surviving sibling Temari. Tsunade was the boss, 9 called her Bar-chan and was the only one to do it. He will be here. Gaara said tonelessly as he smacked the CU ball and sent the soused ball it hit into the middle pocket. Knowing him, he stopped for ramen. Yugito made a growling sound. Not fair. He knows we'd have joined him. Shizune shook her head. I swear that the ramen addiction comes from them being Jinchuriki. All three of them inhale the stuff like air. Her gaze paused as she watched the small raccoon and the black cat creeping towards the couch. Who knew Lady Tsunde's enlace could separate the demon from the Jinchuriki? The human containers keep the chakra, but the demon gets some freedom. I wouldn't do that if I were you. She warned the two animals that looked ready to pounce on the sleeping Tonton. Lady Tsunde will send you both to the vet to be neutered if you attack Tonton again. The pair of Biju sauntered away to find mischief elsewhere. Shizune shook her head and knew that once the fox joined them they would be even worse. A groan from the couch told her Tsunde was waking up. Is the brat here yet? Not yet, Lady Tsunde, Shizune said as she worked on the papers on her desk. She remembered when they met the blonde. Flashback. They were passing through a small gambling town when they ran into Jiraiya. You old pervert, what brings you this far north? Tsunde asked. Getting away from Konoha. Sensei is nothing left there for me, he informed her. She nodded in understanding. They sent a messenger for me, demanding I return. She said. Jiraiya held up a deck of cards and started dealing. He snorted. They didn't waste time putting Danzo in charge. He's the Godime Hokage and he runs the village like he's a Yakuza boss. He looked at his cards while Tsunde made adjustments to the cards in her hand. Orochimaru was quite pleased with his king of Sarutobi sensei. She said. Of course, he didn't find it funny when I snapped his spine and ked his little medic Nin. She said. That was you? Jiraiya asked. He tried to make me believe he could bring Dan and Noaki back to me. He said he'd bring them back to life with a jutsu he discovered if I would fix his arms. Tsunde said. I told him I would do it, but would need a few days to get supplies. He showed up 3 days later all smug, and when he was relaxed, I struck. Shizune delayed his medic. What was his name? She asked Shizune. Kabuto, I think, Shizune said, holding Tonton. Well, anyway, I severed his spine and tossed him in the gutter near the Lipa district. Jiraiya laughed. I'd kiss you if I didn't think you'd K me. Buy me a round and we'll call it even. Tsunde said. They talked and played several more hands before a disturbance drew their attention to the street. No way, Jiraiya muttered. What? It's. Jiraiya paused. Naruto Uzumaki. He finally said. Uzumaki. You mean? Yes, Jiraiya said. They let him out of prison shy of a year ago. He up and vanished. Danzo issued a capture on sight order and a small reward. They both shook their head. He's not a ninja, is he? No, Jiraiya said and pulled a file out of pouch. He failed the academy 3 times. Couldn't make a regular bushin. Tsunde Street USD the file. This is Sensei's handwriting. She said. Yeah, I removed that and the things the Gaki was supposed to get, but the council wouldn't allow. He put a scroll on the table. Wouldn't allow. They're his family's things. He has every right to them. Hey, don't get mad at me. I've been looking for him to pass 'em along. I sealed it all in here for transport. Jiraiya said, holding up his hands to ward off a beating, revealing the cards he held. Fold, Tsunde said. Her eyes turned towards the street where the bounty hunter was trying to fight the whisker-marked blonde. Bang! What the? They saw the hunter drop to the ground. The blonde slid something back into his duster before heading into the bar. The crowd parted like a sea before him and he made it to the bar. Sake. The bartender complied quickly and the two Sannin watched as he flipped a coin at him before turning and heading for a booth in the corner, well away from the door and where he could watch the room. He looks. 10 years in prison changes a person, especially when that person is innocent. What? Tsunde asked, then opened the file and read what her former sensei had written. Why did he let this happen? He wrote in there why, but I'll say it. Sensei was backed into a corner. The council were calling for the brat's execution on a daily basis before the incident. Despite now forensic evidence, they blamed the kid for the M of the Chunin. Add in the fact that the kid admitted to steal the forbidden scroll, despite swearing that his Chunin teacher told him to and that if he did he'd make genin. What idiot would believe that? Tsunde asked. He was desperate to be a ninja. Jiraiya said. And Tsunde looked at her old teammate. Reminds me of someone. She said. Stop. I'll blush. Jiraiya said. From their position they both could see the blonde as he drank. I suppose I should go and talk to him, now that I know where he is. Jiraiya said. I'll do it, Tsunade said. What? Why? The Toad-san said perplexed. This takes a woman's touch and you would just say the wrong thing. Before Jiraiya could say anything in protest, Tsunade grabbed the scroll he'd indicated before and the file and stood. She was almost to the table before he realized she'd left him sitting with her apprentice and her pet pig. XX. Hey. Naruto looked up to see a blonde with a large chest and a diamond mark on her forehead. Hey back, he said sipping his sake. What can I do for you? Naruto asked. I'd like to talk with you. Talk? Is that all? He asked. Tsunade laughed. I'm a bit old for you. She said. Bah, you don't look older than 30. Naruto said. Why thank you, Tsunade said. Pull up a bench. He grabbed a clean cup and poured her some sake. Thank you again, she said with a grin, putting a file folder and a scroll on the table. So, you have a name? He asked. Tsunade. And I already know your name, Naruto. She watched as he tensed, his hand flashed quicker than she thought possible and pulled something from his duster. She felt cold metal pressing to her forehead and the bar went quiet. You are the prettiest hunter that asshole Danzo's sent after me. But I guess where brutes fail, he hopes that beauty will win. Tsunade saw he was G-sping some sort of firearm. She'd seen the rifle and pistol up in the far north, but nothing like what the whisker-marked blonde held to her head now. I'll tell you what I told your partner. Go back to Danzo and remind him I am not a ninja, never have been, never will be, and if he continues to hire hunters, I'll keep filling the Undertaker's coffers. Tsunade laughed. End flashback. Boy, that was tense. Shizune thought for sure at the time the blonde would have shot her master. And Lady Tsunade just kept taunting him. She saw Tsunade was on her feet and rummaging behind the bar in the small cooler. What do we have to eat? Nothing. You haven't gone shopping, it's your turn. Shizune reminded her. Why do I have to shop? I'm the boss. Tsunade whined. In name only Bar-chan. They turned to the door where Nine was standing with a fox near his feet. And no more alcohol. You'll kill your liver one of these days. From the bar Tsunade grabbed an empty bottle and tossed it at the blonde in the doorway. He reacted by drawing his pistol and firing, the bottle shattering before it even got halfway. No guns in here, Shizune snapped. Sorry Nei-chan, Nine said. He sauntered in and they realized he had several boxes of pizza. Their other weakness besides ramen, Shizune thought, but her mouth watered as she smelled the hot dish. Whatever brat, Tsunade said and took 2SS and dropped back onto the couch, waking Tonton who disgruntled hopped off and went upstairs. What kept you? Well, besides getting food, I took that job back in Wave. After that, Sei called that she teleported you back here before those two. She said pointing to Gaara and Yugito who were digging into their own pizzas. Oh, Nine said with a shrug. Stopped for pizza and before that I just sat at the park. Tsunade sighed. We've got a job back in the elemental countries. She said getting all of their attention. It's in Konoha. Nine's S of pizza dropped back to its plate untouched. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.